Just as the Straw Hats have left the Florian Triangle, we get the scene where the camera zooms out showing more of the Florian Triangle and the narrator starts talking. The narrator states that every year over 100 ships vanish within it. This began way before the giant pirate ship, Thriller Bark, started to cloak itself within the mist 10 years ago. It is an old, inexplicable mystery. This tells us that the Florian monsters have been residing in the Florian Triangle for decades now, potentially even centuries. It also hints that they are responsible for destroying ships that enter the triangle. Considering the possibility of them being there for hundreds of years, there must be some reason for them to stay there. It's possible that they were ordered to stay there and guard something, similar to how Zunisha was ordered to walk the seas. If so, it seems logical that it would have been the same person/people that gave Zunisha its orders. I believe that the people/person who gave these orders are tied to the Void Century. This is because the people that gave the orders to Zunisha to walk the ocean, did so to protect the island of Raftel. Zunisha is a constantly moving, untraceable island that hides one of the 4 road poneglyphs and a race of warriors to protect it. Similarly, the Florian Triangle is a section of the ocean, that is constantly shrouded in fog, with hundreds of ships vanishing there every year, and ancient monsters that are similar in size to Zunisha inhabiting it. Both of them are very hard to find, and even if you were to find them, then you aren't going to discover what's being hidden. If you manage to get close to finding it, then you won't live to tell people about it. Now, thinking about the location of the Florian Triangle, because #geography is everything. The triangle is not far from Sabayati, which is right next to the red line. Assuming Raftel is near the end of the New World, then, in theory, it would also be near the red line, except on the exact opposite side of the planet from the Florian Triangle. Why would they order the Florian monsters to protect the exact opposite side of the planet to Raftel? It seems pretty coincidental that the exact opposite side of the planet to Raftel is constantly shrouded in fog, and that the Florian monsters are hidden there, destroying ships that come too close. Here's where we get to the real headcanon/speculative part of the theory, so if that's gonna trigger you, I apologize, but I don't really feel like I've actually proposed any super exciting ideas as of yet, haha. Going back to what Mr. Morjay and co were saying about going to the moon, I believe all of this could lead to a pretty awesome explanation as to how the Straw Hats could end up traveling there. I know we haven't had much information regarding Pluton as of this point in the story, and almost no information regarding Uranus, but I believe we have enough to see how they could connect us from Raftel, to the Florian Triangle, to the final island aka the moon. Just so you know, from now on, we're going to assume everything I've stated about the Florian Triangle and the Florian monsters above to be true in order to make sense of this part of the theory. So, what is it that the Florian monsters have been ordered to protect? Or, more importantly, what is it that the people who ordered the Florian monsters to stay there trying to hide? A few possibilities came to mind, and they're all pretty crazy, so just bear with me. Maybe there's an artifact related to one of the ancient weapons/Void Century there. Maybe there's an actual ancient weapon there. Maybe there's a passage or tunnel that goes all the way from one side of the planet to the other, i.e. from Raftel through to the Florian Triangle. I believe it would actually be a combination of all 3 of those things. I'm proposing that there is some artifact in the Florian Triangle, connected to a tunnel that runs through the planet, from Raftel to the Florian Triangle, and requires an ancient weapon to activate/use it. In fact, not just one ancient weapon, but at least 2 ancient weapons are required to activate the artifact, and to traverse the tunnel/reach the destination. The ancient weapon that I think would be used to activate the artifact would be Uranus. With its name being connected to the sky, it's possible that it could act as a beacon and/or a propellant. If something like that were to be the case, then it would make sense if the artifact were some form of gate that opens up when it receives the signal from Uranus. Now that this gate is open, you need to be able to travel this tunnel at extreme speeds. I believe this is where Pluton comes into play. Pluton being stated to be a ship of some sort, it would be used to travel the tunnel at insane speeds. I'm not sure whether the speed that it travels would be through the powers of Pluton itself, or Uranus, but the speed and ability to travel the skies would be important factors for traveling to the moon. To summarize, this tunnel would serve as a sort of runway/landing for traveling to the moon, with Pluton and Uranus being required to actually achieve it. So, you might be thinking, but how would the Straw Hats have Pluton and Uranus when they reach Raftel? Good question. I don't think that they would arrive in Raftel with all three of the ancient weapons. I think they will have at least one at that point, being either Poseidon or Pluton. Obviously, if it were Poseidon, it means bringing Shirahoshi to Raftel, which I don't think is that likely to happen considering Shirahoshi's cowardly nature, although is a possibility when we consider the ending of the reverie. And Imusama. This leads me to think that they will either have Pluton at that point, or Frankie creates his version of Pluton that he had blueprints of while on Raftel. There are theories out there about how Frankie might end up turning the Sunny into Pluton itself, which I think would make a lot of sense in this context. There will also be the confrontation with Blackbeard going on at this point in the story, the battle for One Piece. I believe Blackbeard will be the one to find Uranus, and he will have it with him during this battle. After he is defeated, however that happens, the Straw Hats will be able to discover whatever Roger found/left behind, learn whatever information there is regarding Void Century stuff. Maybe this is where we learn about who gave the orders to Zunisha and the Florian monsters, and take Uranus from Blackbeard. An important part of what they learn will include the possibility of traveling to the moon and back, discovering this tunnel that goes through the entire planet, and what is required to actually use it. With Uranus now under their control, Frankie modifies the Sunny to replicate Pluton, and they are actually able to fly to the moon.